Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to a very special Squiz Kids Q+A, the podcast where you, the kids of Australia, get to ask the questions. Now, because you've all been off on school holidays and are only just getting back to the classroom, the playground is going to be the topic of this Q&A, and specifically, how to be the kind kid this year at school. You'll do lots of tests and exams and competitions throughout the year ahead, but as far as we're concerned here at Squiz Kids HQ, the true measure of how good you are depends on how kind you are. And there's no better place to show how kind you are than in the classroom and in the playground. Now, we've been busy over the holiday break collecting questions from the Squiz Kids Brains Trust, and to help me explore this really important topic is Dr. Hannah Brown from an organisation called Are You OK? Dr. Hannah, thanks for joining us on Squiz Kids.
Thanks, Bryce. It's great to be here.
Now, Dr. Hannah, kids all over Australia are back at school, and there are going to be lots of chances for them to show how sporty or arty or how good at maths or good at drawing or how good at singing they are. But how important is it for them to also show how kind they are?
It's super important. I'd say more important than anything else. When our friends are sad, frustrated or angry, it's important that we try to help them and ask, are you okay? Asking this can make a difference when someone is struggling. It can make them feel less alone and more supported. We want everyone to feel like people are there for them. And when someone does need help, it's often easier for them to talk to someone that they know. And that's why we're going to talk through what to do if you're worried about a friend.
Because we talk a lot about being good at school, but really, being good means being thoughtful, thinking about others. It's not just about measuring how big your brain is, but also about how big your heart is, especially in the classroom or playground.
Absolutely. And I work for an organisation called Are You OK? Some of your listeners might have heard of Are You OK Day. And this is a day in September where everyone of all ages is encouraged to check in with their friends and their family and ask how they're doing. By doing so, it gives them an opportunity to talk. It lets them know that you are there for them if ever they need to talk, and it also lets them know that they're not alone. But my message here today is you can and you should ask a friend if they're okay any day of the year.
How very true, and what great advice. Now, we've got a bunch of excellent questions here from kids all over the country. Questions from some of the Squiz Kids regular listeners who have been working over the holidays. Shall we jump straight in?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, our first question comes from Oscar in Sydney.
Hello, my name is Oscar and I'm 11 years old and I live in Sydney. My question is, how do I know when to ask a friend if they're okay?
If you have a feeling that your friend may be upset or angry, I encourage you to trust your gut and ask them, are you okay? There can sometimes be signs that point to your friend not being okay. In general, they might not be acting like themselves, but there are also three main things that you can look out for. So the first is, what are they doing? So they might not be playing at lunchtime like they normally do, or they might not be finishing their homework on time, which is really unusual for them. The second is, what are they saying? So they might be saying that they feel sad, tired, or angry. Or sometimes people say things like their tummy doesn't feel right, or they feel a bit sick. And these are all times when you could ask, are you okay? And the third is recognizing if something big has happened in their life. So for example, mum and dad might not be living together anymore, or someone in their family is sick, or they might even be moving house. But the most important thing is, if you have that gut feeling but you're not sure, ask anyway.
Excellent advice. Now the next question comes from Felix in Brisbane.
Hello, my name is Felix. I am 10 years old and I live in Brisbane. My question is, my friend hasn't been playing soccer at lunch like he used to be, but I am worried I'll say the wrong thing if I ask him what's wrong. Can you help me?
First of all, well done for recognizing that your friend might not be okay, and for wanting to help them. Now you're ready to have that Are You OK conversation, which has 4 steps that we refer to as ALIC, which stands for ask, listen, encourage action, and check in. So for the first step of ask, make sure you pick a quiet and comfortable place where you can ask your friend if they're okay. Also try and ask them when you have time to give them your full attention. So don't ask them just before the bus comes or the bell rings and you're rushing to go back to class. Try and ask them without other people around so it can be a bit more private and comfortable for your friend. It's also important to ask them in a way that feels right for you. So for example, you could say, "You don't seem like yourself lately. Do you want to talk about it?" Or, "How are things going with you?" Your friend will appreciate you asking them, and they will know that they can go to you for help in the future. And always remember that you're not an expert and it's not your job to fix anything. Just being there for them is helpful.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent point. Now we have a question from Zavi, who's 7 years old and comes from Melbourne.
Hello, my name is Zavi and I'm 7 years old and I live in Melbourne. My question is, what should I do if my friends tell me they're not okay?
If your friend tells you that they're not okay, it's important that you listen without judgment. And listening is the second step of the ALEC conversation. It can be really hard to hear that your friend isn't okay, but try to stay calm and let them know that you're there for them. Remember that it's not your job to have all the answers or to fix their problems. The most important thing you can give a friend is your time and the space to really talk. If the problem feels too big and it's not something that you can help with, then you can encourage action, which is the third step of that ALEC conversation. So this is where you might help them identify trusted people that they can talk to. This could be a teacher, a parent, or even a sporting coach.
Yep, that is an excellent point. This next question comes from Claudia in Brisbane.
Hello, my name is Claudia and I'm 12 years old and I live in Brisbane. My question is, sometimes when I ask my friend if she's okay, she says she's not but doesn't want to talk. What are some ways I can help?
By asking them the question, you've shown them that you care and that when they are ready to talk, they know that you're a safe person to talk to. You can also ask your friend if there's someone else that they would prefer to talk to. That doesn't mean that you're a bad friend if they don't want to talk to you. You're a great friend for asking, but you can encourage them to find someone who they feel safe talking to. Check back in and ask again in a few days if they're still struggling. Checking in is the fourth step of the ALEC conversation, and it ensures that you continue to provide support for your friend.
Good advice, Dr. Hannah. And finally, a question from Chester in Adelaide.
Hello, my name is Chester and I'm 11 years old and I live in Adelaide. My question is, isn't Are You OK Day in September? So why are we talking about Are You OK Day now?
Great question. That is very true. Are You OK Day is a special day and it is in September every year. And it's a day that reminds people to check in with their friends. It's one day of the year where the whole country can get involved in the conversation movement. So schools, workplaces, and communities can all join together and build their confidence in asking, "Are you okay?" However, you shouldn't wait until Are You OK Day to ask the question. You can ask, "Are you okay?" any day if you think someone in your life might be struggling.
Wow, I have learned so much today. Here I was thinking that doing well in spelling tests and maths exams was the most important thing at school.
Look, those things are important, but so is being a good friend. If a friend is acting different than normal or your gut is telling you that they seem off, check in with them and ask, "Are you okay?" By following the steps of ALEC, asking, listening, encouraging action, and checking in with them, you are being a really helpful and supportive friend. Also, don't forget to look after yourself too and reach out for help when you need it.
Be the kind kid, Dr. Hannah. It's a mantra for life, no matter what age you are. Thank you so much for being a part of this Squiz Kids special. And remember, if you want to learn more about being kind and thoughtful, or for more tips and free resources, head on over to ruok.org.au. That's the letters ruok.org.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Hannah. Now, it's a Squiz Kids Q&A tradition to get our guests to do the customary Squiz Kids podcast sign-off. Do you reckon you're up for it?
Oh, I'll give it a shot. Now get out there and have a most excellent day.
Over and out.